has joined the webinar right now. Okay, I'll ask all the participants kindly mute yourself and do not unmute for the smooth conduction of the webinar. Good evening and welcome all the participants and the viewers to this webinar series on MBBS in Egypt. We have been conducting a series of webinar on the admission process, the total system of MBBS abroad education related to Egypt. In the past few webinars, we have discussed all the issues related to the admission process. We have discussed exclusively the best colleges we have with us, like the Cairo University, the Alexandria University, Ain Shams University, Mansoura University, and the great infrastructure, the educational systems, how Egypt is the most preferred destination, and how low cost, it's very pocket friendly, as we have already discussed in our past webinars. So for the first time in the history of MBBS admission, I'm extremely glad to present before you Dr. Wael Yusuf, who is with us today. And Dr. Yusuf is a representative from Ministry of Higher Education, Egypt. He is the head and spokesperson of Egypt Education System Initiative, Cairo, Egypt. Dr. Yusuf has done his PhD from Hull University, Yorkshire, UK, MBA from Washington University, Louisiana, USA, BE in Engineering in Computer Science from Egypt, CSSBB, Aventa Business Institute of USA, PMP from Project Management Institute of USA. He has wide experience of more than 25 years with multinational organizations worldwide in the field of marketing and management of government and private sectors for healthcare information technology, like Cerner, Siemens, Microsoft, and Asset Technology Group. He is also engaged in major regional and global healthcare projects like Mayo Clinic, Hamad Medical City, it's very famous as all of we know, SEHA, MOH, UAE, NGHA, KFSH, 52357, and many more. Dr. Yusuf, we are glad to have you with us today. Doctor, as we all know that Egypt is a preferred destination for MBBS for the state-of-art infrastructure, excellent education system, low cost, and high job opportunities after MBBS. From our experiences of our past seminars and webinars, we have documented some very common questions which has been asked from the students, from the parents, as well as the consultants. So we have planned for a Q&A session today with you. And secondly, for the first time in the history of MBBS admission in Egypt, we have an official representative from the ministry with us. So we will try to get the optimum utilization of this opportunity. Welcome, sir.
Welcome to you and your guests, and thank you for the beautiful introduction, and that was really impressive. And I'm happy to be with you guys, and I'm ready for answering some of your questions addressed by you.
Yes, sir. The first and the most common question that comes to us from the part of the consultants as well as parents is, why MBBS in Egypt? What are the best features of doing MBBS, and why should the students from India should go there to Egypt for studying their MBBS course?
Let me give a quick introduction about studying in Egypt. Higher education in Egypt has been one of the main topics that took a lot of investment in development and improving the methodology of education to serve the entire region for higher education students and international students who can meet the competencies required by the international markets, specifically in the US and Europe standards and requirements for medical practices. The healthcare department in Egypt and the development they're doing in getting the real value to the international students to learn among professors from the US and the UK, or at least being associated with dual degrees in these countries. It's been reputable for a while. The accreditation of the medical certificate and the surgical bachelor degrees obtained from Egypt. Through my experience that I had before in my previous life with Cerner as one of the top US-based healthcare companies, the recruitment of these graduates from Egypt, especially in the Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates and the entire Gulf area, they do have preference to recruit those graduates from the Egyptian universities with a medicine degree. So talking about the infrastructure of the faculties of medicine, and you mentioned some of them, Cairo University, Ain Shams University. Also, it's good to mention that Asyut University is one of the top accredited and notified medical schools, and it has a lot of associations with India, Spain, and Mexico in various medical programs. And graduates of these programs can obtain dual degrees from Egyptian universities as well as international universities as well. So to talk about the medical part specifically, let's see the value of having equipped laboratories. So experience matters, yet you need to have the universities equipped by the latest and advanced technology so that you can leverage this in practical life. Dealing with colleagues with experience and people who had got engaged in multiple programs worldwide in the medical practice will help the international students to obtain very useful experience that they can implement in their future lives. We have been hosting a lot of students from Asia, especially from Malaysia, Indonesia, China, Thailand, and recently, starting 2019, we had some cooperation with India, and we received good quality students willing to pursue their education journey with the Egyptian universities.
Thank you, Doctor. The next question is, what is the course duration of the MBBCH, which is equivalent to the MBBS course in India?
Before it was 7 years. Currently, it's 5 years, and it can be followed by an internship, either 2 years in Egypt or followed by 1 year internship in India.
All right, sir. After 5 years, whether the students can do their internship in India or they'll have to complete their internship from Egypt itself?
Exactly. So if they select to obtain it from Egypt, they need to spend like 2 years in internship. If they select to continue in India, that will take them 1 year.
Okay. All right. So if they are like doing it from India, they can do it in 1 year. It is optional. Okay. They have two options with them. All right. Tell us about the hostel facilities that the students from India will get there in Egypt.
Actually, there are a lot of options for the Indian students or international students. Either provide accommodation by the facility itself, I mean by the university, or they can select to have shared like a multi-tenant accommodation, and it's very affordable. It's very affordable for everyone.
All right. So there are provision for girls hostel as well, right?
Exactly. So I would like to talk about this part a little bit because at the latest statistics we had, Egypt has been promoted as one of the safest countries in the Middle East. And
Wonderful. Okay, this is very new. I was not knowing about this. Thank you
this
for
is
sharing the
really
information. Yes.
interesting because we were running some sort of statistical reports on the number of females versus male students
Okay.
from the international students in Egypt.
Yeah.
And before it was less than 15% female versus male students. Now we're reaching 49 to 51%, which is really fascinating because
It's a very good
what we
statistics.
have here, people feel safe to send their children to study in Egypt, where they are treated equally, where they are treated with full respect. They have very good privacy and safety. Dealing with the Egyptian people on daily basis, you're going to find a lot of similarities in culture and living habits between the Indians and Egyptian people. So you're not going to feel abroad. You're going to feel more home living in Egypt.
Doctor, for the explanation of the previous question. Now, one more question which is very common, which is being asked by the students, the consultants, as well as the parents, are the questions related to the safety issues. Please tell us about the safety of the foreign students in Egypt. Are the students safe in their campus and outside during their stay in Egypt?
Talking about safety in Egypt, as I said, Egypt is now ranked as one of the top safe countries in the Middle East. And the thing is, as I said, students are treated equally. People in Egypt actually welcome a lot of foreign cultures. Maybe it's a bit historical because Egypt's position is like a multicultural and mix of diversity, and a lot of people from all over the world are living here equally and living in harmony. So safety, I'd like to divide it into two parts. Safety in terms of the country overall safe environment, and safety specifically on the students level, because we provide ultra precautions to make it safe and healthy as well. So I'd like to mention that the Ministry of Health, and through a lot of awareness campaigns, have taken precautions to the highest standards of health precautions at dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic, and we were able to control things, especially on education, because students are the future of our lives. So they are the continuity of us. So we provide them a lot of care and special attention to make their journey in Egypt safe and secure for them and for their countries as well.
Right, sir. Please share with us, doctor, what sort of safety protocols are being taken at present for the students in campus, as well as the new prospective students who intend to take admissions during the COVID-19 times.
So the precautions actually and the safety protocols starts from the moment they arrive at the airport and till they are transported to their hostels and to their accommodation. And at the campus itself, the precautions of entering the campus and entering their classes for lectures, the seating precautions, the sanitization precautions, making sure that they are in a good and well aerated places, and making sure that they are taking the distancing precautions as well, to make sure that they are safe and secure during their studies. Even we follow up with them through some campaigns and through direct contacts. We have some sort of like community for international students on Facebook and many social media platforms where we communicate with them all the time and make sure that they are safe. Even during the quarantine period, we were contacting the students, the international students, and we were running some campaigns to make sure that they know exactly what's going on, and at the same time to keep them entertained. So we were hosting some theater plays and some movies and musical concerts online to make sure that they're staying home safe and entertained.
Thank you, Doctor. We are delighted to know that the Egyptian government is taking all safety protocols for the benefit of the Indian students. Now, the next question is that tell us more about the infrastructure, library facilities, labs, and the hands-on experience in hospitals in Egyptian Medical University.
That's a very good question, actually, because most of the medical schools and the universities, they have a university hospital. So it's mandatory to have that to make sure that the students are having a really reputable practical experience that can make a difference to their career. Also availing the latest educational techniques and methodologies in terms of providing the study bodies in order to make sure that they have a practical experience, especially in medicine and other practical schools, to make sure that they have hands-on experience. So we take very good care of the labs, the university hospitals, and the associated departmental health activities as well. So it's not only having an advanced lab, it's not only having a library to access tons and resources hospital. We also dive deeper than this to provide some departmental approach as well to get the entire healthcare setup. When I mean the healthcare setup, they have access to pharmacies, they have access to radiology centers, laboratories, even the clinical pharmacy within hospitals to be ready for the real life in future. So it's not only the academic part that we take care of, we take care of the practical part as well.
Thank you, Doctor, for sharing the details. Now, the next question is that the students wanted to know about the profile of the professors, the doctors who would be taking their classes.
This is very important to know that most of the famous graduates and industry leaders in this field graduated from Egypt, like Sir Magdi Yaqub. He's one of the top cardiac surgeons worldwide. He's graduated from Egypt, and most of the professors who are providing the lectures in the Egyptian universities, they have, especially in the medical part, they have dual degrees, like associate degrees from the US or the UK in their fields. So we make sure that we have like the top quality resources providing the medical education syllabus. And for each of the departments, you're going to have more than 35 doctors providing lectures. So you're not only getting one single experience, but you're getting more of more like hands-on experience and knowledge transfer to future careers.
Right, sir. In India, in view of the current pandemic situation, the NEET exams have been postponed to September 2020. So, there are many aspirants who wish to take admission, but because the NEET has been postponed, they are waiting for some alternative options. The Ministry of Egypt has taken any alternative solution for that case?
Actually, this has been one of the major topics for discussion, finding a solution uh, for those who are in their academic years at the moment, and they need support during the COVID-19 pandemic. The NEET exams are the basic screening test exam for medical admissions in Indian and foreign universities. So we understand this part, and as per the discussion with the Ministry of Higher Education, Egypt and the Supreme Council of Universities requested from you guys, as you know, Mr. Dependra from Hope Consultants. The Supreme Council has approved the extension of admission for Indian students, and for the January session, 2020 is open for admission right now, 2021, open for admission.
Doctor, after the intimation by the Hope Consultants, we highly appreciate that the Ministry of Higher Education Egypt has thought for an alternative session for the Indian students. Now the question is that the alternative session will have the same fees, or it would be something different?
No, it will be the same as September, October sessions.
Doctor, now tell us about the fee structure of the MBBS program.
It's 6,000 per annum, and we have like 1,500 registration fees paid once.
After studying from Egypt, are there any fair chances of getting a PG residency in Germany?
Of course, there is a very good chance of getting the PG residency in Germany. We have really a good number of MBBS get residency in Germany, and they are performing very well.
Can do their PG in Germany after they finish it from MBBS. And we want to know about the PLAB and the USMLE passing percentage of Egyptian doctors.
Actually, it ranges from 80 to 85% for the PLAB. It's around 80%, and for the USMLE, it's around 85%.
Okay, so the passing percentages are very high. So this proves the quality of Egyptian medical system, that the MBBS courses, the structure of the course, the faculty, the teaching methodology, everything is inclined in such an excellent manner that the students have a high passing percentage in the difficult exams like PLAB and USMLE. Thank you, sir, for sharing the information. The next question is that student visa stamping, is it easy or is it complicated?
Actually, it's pretty easy, and we're making it much easier and faster as well. So we're working with a lot of other cooperating ministries and consulates of other countries in Egypt to facilitate the student visa and have a dedicated and very rapid process of obtaining student visa.
Okay. So, do you have any provision for scholarships for Indian students there in Egypt?
Of course we do, and what we can really announce now that we're working with a lot of consulates as well to monitor and to encourage scholarships.
Okay, all right. Sir, many of the students were interested to know that whether they have, is it mandatory for them to learn any other local language, as well as what is the medium of instruction in the medical schools?
Actually, most of the medical schools, if not all of them, they provide the courses in English. And through the Study in Egypt initiative, we provide classes for like Arabic language for non-Arabic speaking and we provide, there are a lot of English courses as well, if required, but most of the syllabus are conducted in English.
So the colleges in Egypt are running the courses in English medium, and it is not at all mandatory to learn the local language. But as you know that learning a language is always an added advantage. So it is up to your wish that if you want to learn the language, you may learn medium. So the next
Exactly.
yes, the next question is, sir, is there any need to give any local examination for the local languages? I think it's no, as you have already.
There's no need because English is widely spoken either on campus or on daily life.
Okay, all right, sir. Does the Indian embassy help the students in times of need? What is the role of the embassy, their Indian embassy, for the students?
What we experienced it lately, and actually it came to our knowledge that the Indian embassy is doing great efforts helping students getting around and facilitating their admission and following up very closely with the initiative.
Okay, yeah. Sir, tell us more about the fooding there. How it is related, like how the students in India, is it easy for them to adapt the food habits of Egypt? And if a student, like many of our states, people are vegan. So are there any vegan options there, or only it's the heaven for the non-vegetarians?
That's a nice question, actually, and it's a mouth-watering one. The thing is that in Egypt we do have like multiple cuisines, and especially the Indian cuisine is one of the favorite ones here in Egypt, and there are a lot of options that are offered to students. These options are Indian restaurants specialized in Indian food, or even some other restaurants providing vegan food. So this shouldn't be a problem at all.
Okay, so vegan students, you don't have to worry. There are a whole lot of options there, and I have myself been there to Egypt many a times. I found that the fruits and vegetables, they are quite cheap, and in fact the quality is much better to that what we get here in India. Tell us about the safety of female students in Egypt. Also tell us about the safety in the public transportation, and whether the public transportation is costly or is it pocket friendly for the students.
And I said that when we calculated the percentages of the female students versus male students, and I said this has been increasing rapidly. We reached almost 49% compared to 51% female versus male. And this is a very good indicator about the safety of life in Egypt, and especially for female students. As I said, there's different types of accommodation, and the transportation network in Egypt is very safe and used by many foreigner students who are studying in remote areas and having to somewhere else. So talking about transportation safety and talking about accommodation safety, I think these are the major safety aspects for foreign students.
All right. Tell us more about the job prospects, because many of the parents who come to us, they ask about that when our children complete their MBBS, what are the job prospects they will get there in Egypt. And tell us about the countries in Middle East. I've heard many students, they get their jobs just in the final year of their MBBS course. So which are the places that job prospects?
Great. Before talking about the opportunities, as we call it, the land of opportunities here in Egypt, before talking about the opportunities of jobs in Egypt, I would like to highlight one key important thing is related to the fourth industrial generation. In the fourth industrial generation, there will be a lot of positions disappearing and a lot of new positions coming up. And all areas areas, we're expecting jobs disappearing, and new different opportunities are opening up. So when you have more and to apply to one of the universities who are already engaged in development programs for the fourth industrial generation, definitely you're going to be graduated, equipped for the market requirements. Not only in Egypt, but this is a global trend. So let's say European countries will be putting some standards on what type of medical graduates required for the future. So naming some of the markets, as you just said, Germany, the UK, Italy, and regionally, you're going to have like Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and Kuwait. They do have like preference for having the Egyptian medical school graduates. So these are like a lot of opportunities, either regional, locally, or internationally.
All right. So we are really glad to hear that the students have a great prospects for the future. There are a lot of opportunities, job opportunities after you complete your MBBS from Egypt. The most, yes. Another question that the students commonly ask is that do you have any responsible representatives or associates who will receive the students when they reach Egypt from the airports and help in their help to settle down themselves there?
We do provide meet and greet services at the airport through consultants like Hope Consultants Associates and other associates who can receive them and help them through the process and take them to the accommodation safely.
Okay, glad to hear that, sir. Please share about the eligibility requirements for the MBBS admission.
For the student, they must be qualified for 2+ or higher secondary exam with biology, with good percentage in GPA, like 3 or like if you calculate it in percentages, like 65 to 70%. And Indian students must be qualified for the NEET.
All right.
Yeah, I would say that since it's a pandemic situation and the governments and the countries are not allowing the people from outside to come to their country, so even if the university give the admission, what would be the visa scenario? That was my question.
Okay, all right. Now I got it better. So to answer this, simply we're opening borders with countries who are during the pandemic period, and visas will be obtained easily. This more for students willing to come to study on campus. We're also providing a lot of online degrees as well, and we're adopting the new approach of hybrid degrees. So the hybrid approach is composed of some online learning activities in addition to on-campus activities.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for your question. In case you don't have any further questions and you have any questions related to admission or MCI, these questions and inquiries can be answered by
participants. Now we have reached towards the end of the webinar, and now it is the time for sharing the vote of thanks. First of all, we would like to thank on behalf of Hope Consultants as well as all our associates from India to Dr. Rasha Kamal, Ministry of Higher Education, Egypt, as well as Supreme Council. We would also like to extend our thanks to our expert today, Dr. Wail Yusuf, for sparing his valuable time with us and as well as his expertise. Dr. Yusuf has shared every detail related to the admission in Egypt. As well as we would like to thank all the participants who had been with us through this journey. Entire webinar they have attended and they have given their queries. Thank you all and have a nice day.